Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of SnowFool here in City Skylines. Well, last episode, we built our brand new import-export transportation area revolving around trains and ships for all of our cargo. And while he tried to solve some of the problems that we recently had, we probably caused more than we actually solved. But I've decided I'm going to leave it for what it is right now. We're going to see what happens and we'll come back to it and try and settle it all down. But for today, we're going to hopefully build some new areas within the city. Now, welcome back to the episode, guys. If you are enjoying the series, smash that like button down below. If you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But we had mass jams for days over here, which we've now seemed to have kind of solved a lot of this. Perfect. But what I did was I just moved it to over here. My brand new one right now. Which I will be honest with you, the traffic is slowly dying down. So I'm hoping that this is just the initial backlog that we've got, and then we're going to be rocking and rolling. I did implement this train station over here, which it's good, it's great, it's perfect, it does exactly what I need it to do. But the entry and exit for it is so short. If another train comes in now while there's a train there, it does stick out, which means it will cause backlogs for the main line. Now, while I will keep it here for a moment, just going to see how things progress. It was our experimental train station. We'll kind of see how we get on with it and adjust in the future. But like I said, this is starting to die down slightly. The backlog was almost at this junction before I started recording today's episode. But yeah, we'll just see what happens. So today, I want to take a look at this area. This whole section here, I want to actually grid out, road out, design as our urban sprawl turns into a slight little suburb as we continue to move further down. Now, I don't know if there will be any kind of connection for the road, for the highway. I don't know if I'll ever add a connection onto this. I truly don't know. But I do want to expand all of this right now and set up all the planning. I want to get all the roads in before we move any further. Now, thinking about it, we've got a connection here. We've got a connection here to this road. I can see there maybe being another connection around here somewhere. I'm not going to build on this side. It's going to be purely on this side. And I think this road might go underneath. There's a little bit of height there to play with to connect up and over as well. And I don't know. I don't think there'll be another connection to the highway, but never say never. So what I want to do then is I want to create a border using the parallel tool. And then from that border, we'll delete what we don't need to situate our road perfectly. So we're going to grab our raw road. It's my favorite road at this point right now. And we're going to use the parallel tool. And what we'll do is we'll start just here. I'll run it all the way down, and awkwardly we're going to have to follow it around here, up to there, and up to there. Now, it looks like it's going to elevate, but that's okay, that's okay. I don't mind too much about the spacing. I don't mind too much. I just want to stick it out a fair bit. So we'll go to about a 70, you reckon? Or should I do an 80? I don't know if an 80 seems a little bit too far, but I kind of like the idea of an 80. Do you know what I should have done? I should have actually kind of, figured out what the space actually needs to be before doing this. I know I said I don't really mind, but let's be honest, guys. I kind of do mind. So if I go to this 11 here, and then just push up this by a 10 this way, and hold on, and this way, just so I've got the rough idea in my head. Now let's try this again. Right to there. So a lot of this road I will delete, don't worry, I will delete it. Up to there. You know, we'll just go to there for now. That'll be fine, because I know the other one kind of ramps up, and I don't really want it to ramp up in that kind of aspect. So I was about to go for an 80. How far off was I at said 80? Okay, I wasn't actually that far off. So it looks like it's going to be more of an 80. What is that, an 88? Yeah, okay, we'll roll with the 88. Right, there we go. Parallel tool enabled. So that bends around quite nicely there. And that gives us the perfect space in between. Now we have to upgrade some of this road because you lose the zoning. I actually do like a lot of this. It's actually worked out fairly well. Now, even though that was an 80, it doesn't mean 88. Sorry, it doesn't mean that. Oh, I don't like how it's dug in right now. That if I do another parallel tool, that's also going to be 80. I'll actually delete that because I don't want it to bend like it does here. So if I bring this out by the 11 again and then run it up this way, it doesn't really matter. Run this down to there and then just cut in. Right, we'll roll with that. So if I come out here again now, so now we're on the 10 by 10 grid. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of place from there, and will it go all the way around? Yes. Flip it round. And where does that meet this? How do I do it in like larger segments? Is it holding shift again? Yeah. Oh, that's kind of a bit funky there, isn't it? So, in question, is that about it, an 80? Maybe that's where I got my original one from in the first place, the 80 mark. I don't know. But delete all of you. No, not saying it's perfect, but it looks like it's quite perfect to me. And then upgrade all of you. There we go. So we're making the road follow around to create this kind of like suburb kind of vibe. But at some point, the suburb vibe will end. Where does this road connect? Okay, oh, that's perfect. Right, down to here and down to there. We'll connect you up to here and to here, to where that will spread through. And like I said before, we do want an additional connection around here. I don't know whether to kind of place it on the bend. Do you know what? That works out fairly well as it spreads into these suburbs. I like it. So we will eventually, like, you know, sort out a lot of the runs and kind of change how a lot of this is all pretty much placed and spaced out. You know, it won't pretty much end like this. But I reckon there's one more parallel I'm going to get in. Just for the funsies. And yeah, we'll go to there just so I can like... Well, it doesn't really matter now at this point. I know it's an 80. Ooh, is that an 80? That feels like it's slightly off now, doesn't it? Well, we kind of want it to be... Ooh, I don't like it being like that. I think it might be this is the issue. Yeah. Anywho, we'll connect you in like that. So it all slowly comes together. So I'm liking this because it's a little bit different to normal. You're getting these nice little kind of designs, these little like it all flows through quite nicely. I'm going to change this up as well. So I reckon if I delete you down to there, main roads running through is more important, like this. We'll do one more. Is that about a 10 away there? Yeah. And then we'll kind of split like that. So the main drags of road have less connections on them. Apart from this one, it's a little bit different. But it all flows in a certain direction. Now this all bends round. I think the obvious way for me to go about now is to kind of bring it back. But I know it's going to be kind of slightly difficult. But from this point now, out by a 10. And if I go... Because I want to do some nice little green areas coming off all of this. Out by a 10. If I go to there, then all of this is going to filter in. So... I reckon I need to as well delete that, and bend this instead. So an 11 by 9, we'll roll with that. Not so prominent on the bends, but it'll work out. It will all work out, boys. So if I did a 10 by 10, actually no. What we'll do, we'll stick out by a 5. If the game will let me. There we go. And then we'll apply a 5 by 5 bend. Was that 5 by 5? I feel like it moved at the last minute. 5 by 5. And this is where that road will come up and bend into it. And so if I come out by 10 here, that road will bend into there. So using the connection tool, if I went from here to here, and then use our slight little bend on it. So we'll go like that there, just to wiggle it away. And delete this back a bit, and I'll come out by 5 here. So I reckon it might be either I parallel it, then connect it, or the connection tool is going to work straight away. It's like either one or the other. And you're kind of going to get away with it like that. Which is interesting. Now you got to think, right, when I do the grid stuff, when I start kind of doing all the zoning, the little awkward gaps and triangles and spaces it leaves is going to be filled with trees. So this is where I don't want the place to be so uniform, even though it's like a waved uniform in a weird way. It's all going to flow through. Now it kind of narrows up there and goes squarey. Here it's going to bend around. That's going to be interesting to see how I'm going to apply this logic next. So we got 3 roads on this side and only 2 on this one. So it's almost like we need to get a second one out of this, out of that road there. And I reckon we can kind of get that. If I got to buy another 10 to there, and then, so that's a 1, 2. Ooh, I reckon we should have started to bend it straight away. So if I go for a 10 by 10 bend here, and then do another... If I try and select it here, 10 by 10 bend there. And that's going to lead down. So I want this to kind of go back this way and skedoodle around. But this is where all the magic now comes into play. 20 by 20. And then that should roughly be about 20 by 20, give or take. Oh, it's perfect for that to bend round. So this is going to kind of snap into there, which is going to filter this way for this one to wiggle around. It's a lot. It's a lot to kind of take in. But I feel like this last one as well, while this will be then technically a 30 by 30. Right. It's not going to follow it all the way around as well. I need some roads that do cut through. We'll get onto that momentarily anyway. But I reckon we need to think about this space at the end there. Do you know what actually I might do? Leave that quite open for, like, you know, hospital or something like that, kind of in that area. That'll be quite a vital little space, I reckon. I actually like this. This is flowing around quite nice. Now, if I was to push this all the way out, you can see where it would eventually then snap in. Same with this. So I reckon we bring this down to there and then bring you... So the snap's there at a 43. So if I go for a 33, we know the bend's going to be a 10... Oh, snap. The bend's going to be a 10 by 10, whatever the degree angle was going to be at that point. So 10 by 10 leads you in. Now, we kind of a little bit lost here because of this, how this is going to end. But I reckon there is something that's involved with me creating the connection going through. So I reckon there is... I'm trying to figure out the better options for us to do this. If I came out by a 5, I'm going to really shorten the bend that it takes on. And then just see how this plays out. Because if that goes into there, then this here, if I go for the full shebang, bends into one another. And then there might be, because what I'm going to want to do as well is push this directly through. It's all ways in which we kind of create this connectivity. Now I've got the option here to do something with this to where that is a 13. So if I went like by an 8, I could still get a little bit of a 5 by 5 bend and have some unorganized chaos as it swoops down, and then we've kind of then created a little bit of a grid. It swoops round. It's a little bit more free flowy for this suburb that we're trying to create and what we're trying to get out of it. Bring you up to there as well for some more connectivity. It's working. It's working. It's working. It's working. It's working. I don't know whether there's more connections that we can kind of throw into it. Now, if you're here and wanting to get to there, you got to go all the way around. So I don't know whether there's something we can kind of implement again to shorten said distances. That last one goes a bit skew-if, doesn't it? I reckon we delete this, this, this. Bringing that straight out to there. And there's a little bit of a play here to where we can bend it in. And we get away with it. So, yeah, it creates walkability. Is the best way to put it. So this area is becoming quite unique. It leaves this quite open and spacious up here, which is good. Very good. And I reckon, rather than the... Oh, do I do the 10 or should I come up by a... I'd say that's about a 15-ish there. So that's an 18 by an 18. So we're now sprawling away on this one, which is a lot wider. And then we'll run a little bit of a straight bit. So 24. 24. So if I go to about a 19, it becomes a very, very short 5 by 5 bend to run directly back down. So the reason for that there is because it opens up this now as a 90-degree corner to kind of build slightly off it to put some of our service down, whether it be a hospital, some of the fire stations, police stations, which I know are not really connected to the highway, but they kind of serve the greater area within this. And there is always ways in which we can create, coming off it, areas to access it, and connectability is the correct term I'm looking for. So we get awfully close here, but that's okay. We'll have trees all running down. Now, will we see huge amounts of traffic through this area? Well, my plan is to do low density the majority of all this. Might be a little bit of high density up here, but mainly to be low density. So we can really, you know, take advantage of the space and not cause too much traffic as well. That's one of the main things. So I'm going to run this a little bit further down to there, and then we'll figure out how we're going to design this at some point in the future, but it all flows quite nice. Now I don't want too many roads connecting to this because traffic issues, but that would do us justice. Now I feel like around here there should be some form of a highway connection, and I could connect it to this big road there, which will make a lot of sense. I mean, we have that connection just over here as well. But I feel like I don't want to do the usual this connection. Because if I ramp down, there's only a short distance for them to switch lanes. I'm thinking I do a little bit further back and then trumpet. Well, kind of how you would do like a trumpet. Like this. You do like this connection on both. Now, that can cause some big issues, like some real big issues. But I think it might be fun. I think it might be a fun way to connect. It'll probably cause a lot of traffic issues up here. But I like the idea of just being quite fun. Did I mention, guys, that I want to be quite fun? So if I do a 5 by 5 bend and then just raise this up by a 5 by 5 raised by 5, and even though it didn't raise. Okay, that now slightly raises. So what's that from there? That becomes a 5. So the 5 for us is just there. 5 by 5. And then what I'm going to do is just run this straight to the road up above. Now the sole reason for it is that I want to do it like this is because I want something a little bit different. And I'm hoping it's spaced out far enough that it doesn't cause too much traffic issues. I don't know how many people are going to use this either. That's the other thing as well. So I'm doing 6s here on the bends. Flipping you around, upgrading you to a single lane. Same with this now. So 6, 6, upgrade you, flip you around. And then so for us, these bends are going to be quite sharpish. They're going to be quite sharp because the sheer speed that you're entering and exiting from, you want to make sure that you kind of cover all aspects on that. Now, I've almost done 2 different styles there to where The corner bit is, the circle on it is into the road. There you go. Right, we'll see how this goes. Now, this is not something that you would normally do, okay? I'm gonna throw it out there right now because it causes hella traffic up here at this point. But as long as you can kind of get it all situated correctly, I think you'll be okay. I think you will be okay. But it depends on what type of demand we're going to see from it. It's just something a little bit different, isn't it? That's the only reason I went for it. It's just something a little bit different. Now, we're going to brush some trees, baby, going down here. And we'll get some going down this side as well. Just kind of bulk the air up a bit more. Go all nice and tree. There we go. Alright. Trees for days. Trees for days. So you will get a lot of people use it. You'll see a lot of people use it when we start moving people into this area. What demands, what dramas, what issues we see from this, it'll depend. It'll take some pressure off this junction, as a lot of them will then start to use this one. If I need to change these junctions here, we'll kind of adjust them accordingly once we see where the major issues come from. But this road here is quite, you know, dead in general. So I think we're not going to really have that much going on over here to warrant too many traffic issues. But again, it creates a little bit more accessibility for this area, only because they turn into here. And it helps this area in general as well. So it all helps, I assume. It all slightly helps. So did the traffic die down over here? Yes, the traffic did die down. It's just a little bit of boat traffic now coming in. So I think we're relatively okay with the traffic. These are the issues that we've got, is when a train slightly sticks out. But again, I'm not going to solve that issue just yet anyway. Let it run its course. Let it run its course. But how is this now looking? Leaving, not 100% full. Going to the car. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So it's what now? It's slowly turning around to where it's now coming back on itself. We literally are. We literally are just watching the cargo slowly move around via the ports. It's hilarious. It is. Just wait till we get a cargo airport. That's when that's when all the drama is going to kick in. But yeah, very good. Very good, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Now, we need to make sure we got the utilities in place. So we'll kind of start to get some of the water all in. We'll just kind of generically move up first. 22. Well, we should have just connected there in general, right? And we'll go to about here, push it up. Up. And... ba-bam. And up. Okay. Done. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So there's a few little issues. I can see that this is going to be quite an important junction. So stuff like turning traffic lights off is a very, very big help to begin with. And maybe... It's one of those things, it's like you want to sort the junctions out now, but you just truly don't know where the issues are going to lie when you start seeing, when you start getting all this in and more vehicles coming. You don't really know where the issues are going to lie. So I don't think I should really think about solving it just yet. I'd rather solve it when we see the issues. It's all part of the fun, right? It's all part of the fun. So trains skedoodling in and out. Beautiful, beautiful. And lots of ships are coming in. 100% full cargo, damn. It's like they don't want to use my train line underneath. Oh, there's a train on the way right now. How dare you? How dare you? But yeah, it's all coming together. It is all slowly coming together. Now, I don't think there's a way in which I can create another road crossing around this area. I think you'll be asking for too much at that point. I really, really think you would. Like if I just all of a sudden created a big bridge that used these little islands to connect into like over here, that would be asking for way too much. It really would. But damn, could you imagine how glorious that would be? It would be absolutely glorious, wouldn't it? It really would. Right, I'm just scanning around to see what else is going down. So we're still making profit over there, which is all hunky-dory. I think we've got too much money in the bank right now. I feel like we need to start heavily investing in a lot of the services and stuff like that. Is the land value okay? Yes. I think we're pretty much good to go. We're ready to kind of start investing a little bit more. Now, the university, and normally these are a big... Oh, wow, even the university's making profit. What is going on, boys? Everything just seems to be making sweet, sweet cash money moolah right now. It really does. But we've got a new area ready to rock and roll, ready to set up. We've kind of slightly designed it. We'll start getting that all in next episode anyway. And get it all lined up beautifully. I'm quite excited for that. I feel like we've given this enough time where it's slightly now died down, but we do need to add in additional stuff in general. I feel like a cargo airport will be coming into play very soon, but I don't know where we would put that. Honestly, I don't know where we would put something like that in. It will have to be kind of slightly... I mean, over here is not really too of a bad idea. There's all train connections, there's highway connections, stuff like that. I want to extend more industrial around this area. Don't really have enough industry. Do we have any industry on this side? I just really... Apart from that over there, which is zoned for a specific type, no. The answer's no. So I feel like we should maybe at least zone some industry in right now. So, rural road. I mean, I'm going to save that for more of this stuff here. We'll kind of just come off it here. Now, that's a 4-lane road. Just there, and so is this one. So, Is it yeah, it is a 4-lane road, isn't it? Right, I'll just come off with my normal road to begin with. This will be the way in which I kind of plan out where we want stuff to run. I don't want to run too close to the runway. So, the runway itself... If I come out by a 20, and if I just do that real quick, that's as far as I want to run out with that. Oh, we do 15 on that one. I'm trying to think about the borders of all of this before we go any further. So if I run this to there, and then try and get these to come together. I mean, this is just acting ridiculous now. This is just slowly becoming more and more ridiculous. But a loop like that, it just looks really weird, doesn't it? It does. I don't think we should be following the alignment of the runway. I think we should kind of create our own alignments. So I could, for example, there is... Do you know what? That actually would work out fairly well. If I actually scrap that there. If I went straight down like this to where this connected in. And then we figure out ourselves. So that's the 10. 11. Right, just bear with me a second. Bam. And then it's this one in which we will... So where does that connect onto there? So 31. So if I go to a 21, it's where it all flows through. So we want it to do go on our little bend here, and we're gonna. Is that? Oh, is that a 9 now? All right, straight in. So it all flows into our little grid format, to which we can use. I don't know how or what we'll do just there, so I'll just leave it like that for now. Coming off all of this as well. So I'm going to run this down just to end it here for now. So I truly don't know the best place to kind of put a lot of this stuff. But do you reckon that's a bit too close for the runway? I mean, don't build anything here. I could sink that road down a bit as well, which would kind of really help us out. But anyway, the main point of all of this was just so I can kind of squeeze a little bit of industry in. Because we have no industry within these areas. So I'm going to go to there and there with a little bit of industry zoning. And kind of build something up over here. Because I feel like that could be another reason to why we're having so much exports doing around. Because we're not really producing anything over on this side. All the production's coming from over here. mainly in this area. So yeah, it kind of makes a lot of sense. Try and like evenly split some of the production. So that'll be a while then before we see that fully grown. Again, at this point in the game right now, it just takes a little bit longer to actually get stuff to actually happen. But that could be one of the main reasons anyway. One of the, not the main issues, but it just could really, really help us out. We could do with some industry over here anyway. But it's looking pretty good. Got our suburbs all pretty much set up. We want to eventually do the same thing to all of this side as well, and eventually then spread into a big national park over there. That would really be a good tourist hotspot as well. And we're finally thinking about how we can link all these areas now together as well. We're going to bring that road around here, hooking all back up. I'll probably delete that road there. I don't really need that road here. There we go. And maybe get some links into this as well for some kind of easy import exports. Also try and get a train station in too. That will be a big help for us. You're kind of getting some goods imported and exported around. But we're now starting to see a little bit of growth. But it will take some time to simply just spend it. But anyway guys, we're going to end it here. I hope you did enjoy this. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.